I know how to kind of analyze them. We could maybe find some that are like non-paying and get them either to pay again or buy the collateral for less. And he was like, it sounds great, but it sounds really risky. So why don't we try like something a little bit more traditional instead? Let's try doing some sort of development.
You got to do this, and then you go back to one more year of college?
Yep, I did one more year of college. Yep.
Are you sold on real estate at that point?
At that point, I wasn't completely sold. So I actually then ended up going into tech sales after graduating. So it was real estate adjacent. It was tech sales for a firm that basically sells software to analyze mortgage-backed securities, as well as like any collateralized debt obligations of all kinds. So there I really got like a really hands-on look with, okay, how are these securitized assets constructed? Like, what are the underlying loans? Like, what do they look like? How are they selected? How do investors basically in New York, and a lot of them were out in the Caribbean or offshore, how do they select these investments?
Interesting. Man, that I can see how your experience is lining up to be very successful at what you do today, because you're getting a whole well-rounded picture of commercial real estate development, the financing behind it, the securities behind it, and everything like that. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So how long were you in the tech sales, like doing that?
So I was there for about 6 to 8 months. So I graduated in May of 2018, and then I was there until around December of 2018, January of 2019.
And then what pulled you away from that?
So initially, I had always kind of been thinking, like, while I was there, that I wanted to start my own thing eventually. And in December, my dad's brother-in-law was visiting from India, and he has a construction business there, and he had done his EB5 recently, and now he wanted to invest a little bit more here. So initially, I was telling him, hey, why don't we pull together some capital and buy like individual loans from out of these securities? I know how to kind of analyze them. We could maybe find some that are like non-paying and get them either to pay again or buy the collateral for less. And he was like, it sounds great, but it sounds really risky. So why don't we try like something a little bit more traditional instead? Let's try doing some sort of development. Initially, we were looking in Richmond, and at the time, in 2019, nothing was really penciling because, the average sales price of a house was like $180 a foot. Right. So then we looked at DC, and, these guys, Mac Realty, who I had interned with, they had a deal for 6 condo units that they were like, okay, if you can pay this price, we'll let you, kind of have it, because that's what the sellers want, and, they'd be willing to go for that. So we were like, okay, let me run the numbers, and we got a 10-day due diligence at that time, because the condo market in DC was nuts. Like, you could sell anything basically that got built. This is the day it was built. So due diligence was not really a thing, and we figured it out in those 10 days. Like, we found a contractor, we found a legal advice, we found a lender, and the lender was also brought by Mac. The introduction was made by Mac, so that helped out, and then we just went from there.
Yeah, so you had a trusted partner that was bringing you the deal and then giving you some relationships to help expedite that deal. Yeah. So the condos were already built? It wasn't like a land deal or anything like that?
It was a single-family home that we had to demolish and then build 6 condos. But it was approved. Like, it already had all the plans. Yeah,
or it was already entitled for it?
Yeah, the previous developer had done all the entitlement work, and then we could go basically shoveling the ground the day after we closed.